We live in very dangerous times. Suicide bombers planted IEDs in public places, random, unprovoked and indiscriminate shootings and stabbings by radical extremists or zealots who maim and murder in the name of faith and ideology. A sad and dreadful global phenomenon, along with the rising incidence of cyber crimes, narcotics, trafficking, gun running and intellectual property piracy, needs close cooperation among states to meet and address head-on, just like this powwow on the second day of the ASEAN ministerial meetings. PTV correspondent Clazel Pardillo just covered in this report.
With the miserable war in Marawi still ongoing and the recent threat of attack by the Abu Sayyaf in the recently concluded SEA Games competition in Malaysia are but two examples that it proves the susceptibility of countries from terrorism. That is why in the second day of Association of Southeast Asian Nations, a second special ASEAN ministerial meeting on the rise of radicalization and violent extremism was imperative. Each ASEAN member exchanged experiences, views and ideas on best practices in handling issues of radicalization and violent extremism, including terrorism, illegal drugs, armed contraband, piracy, and cybercrime.
To ensure peace, unity, and stability, the Department of Interior local government seeks for a regular regional consultation and immediate cooperation among neighbors to determine the right plan of action on counter-terrorism.
That some cross-border issues induce threats to our constituents. The looming rise of radicalization prompts an immediate need to collaborate with our neighboring nations to counteract this threat.
Cui was also delighted to announce that with the continuous efforts of ASEAN, it has managed to accumulate thus far a $900,000 trust fund to support emergency humanitarian and relief efforts in the event of irregular movements of persons in Southeast Asia.
We committed to further intensify our efforts and strategies to counter these threats through the conduct of regular regional dialogues and consultations, exchange of intelligence information and resources, establishing joint operations, and engaging regional partners in capacity-building programs.
Meanwhile, the 34th ASEAN Maritime Transport Working Group ceremony kicked off in Bohol, where the issue of a single shipping policy was tackled, among others, to sustain a more systematic and intensified security in ports inside and outside of the country.
Come up with what we call a single shipping maritime endeavor, or even a shipping concern, guided by commonalities of structure, of policies, but more importantly, guided by one history, by one ASEAN spirit.
At the end of the meeting, a working draft on regional oil contingency plan is expected to be finalized. Clazel Pardillo for The Nation.